Recent intel suggests AIM is running further illicit projects in Venture Ridge. I suggest we pay the town a visit to disrupt them, and remind Monica the Avengers are a force to be reckoned with. I'm scanning the area and will feed you prime areas to target. Stand by. Disable the nearby hypercircuit station. Look for a chest with gear nearby.
What a waste! This should be fun! Got one!
Do this!
Move the flanks!
I have marked the station's location on your HUD. The hypercircuit station is not far. Destroy the station's power cores.
We can do this! Here's an energy boost! What a waste!
Back to the
core is offline. You destroyed the...
Hostile neutralized.
You're good now.
I owe you one. Let's take him out. Enemy down.
Nicely done. There is a chest with gear close by. You need to access the terminal to reach the turbine.
That stinks. You're done. Let's take him out!
Destroy the turbines. AIM has sent forces to stop you.
Enemy down! I'm not in great shape here.
Into the shadows.
Got one!
That turbine is finished. Well done. You disabled a turbine. Excellent. Turbine destroyed.
But that stinks!
The generator is no longer functional. If you can gain control of AIM's network temporarily, I can infiltrate their security system. AIM will attempt to initiate a shutdown protocol if they gain access to the terminals. You cannot let them.
Bad one!
Beginning infiltration. The shutdown protocol is progressing. That helps, thank you.
In your face!
I'm inside AIM's security system. Let's access that system. That helps, thank you.
Hostile neutralized!
The shutdown protocol is progressing. AIM has initiated their shutdown protocol. Let's access that system. I'm inside AIM's security system.
That was nothing.
Into the shadows.
I'm inside AIM's security system.
Bad one.
Beginning infiltration. That helps, thank you.
Taking a lot of hits.
Beginning infiltration. The shutdown protocol is progressing. Beginning infiltration. I'm inside AIM's security system.
Enemy down.
I've breached AIM's security network. Nice work. Venture Ridge's projects are all offline. For now.
Okay, I should say a few things before it crashes. This game is a mess. The port is really bad. I did some tweaking. I enabled VSync. I put on exclusive full screen, and that got rid of the screen tearing. I also went to the control panel and locked it at 60 FPS, but as you can see there, it still drops. The game is terribly optimized. It feels like it's an engine problem. It is not like the computer or the consoles. Obviously the consoles are pretty weak for a game like this, but it's doing this on everything. People who have, you know, the best stuff out right now, like 2080 Ti, i9, 10900K, like they're having performance issues too. I've had the game crash. I've had to get stuck in infinite loading. It's just a mess. I feel like the developers, you know, the people actually working on the game are very passionate, and the combat is it's serviceable. It's not like Japanese game tier or Salt Spy tier or anything, but it's better than a lot of these other Western games. Western games for me in general are like bottom of the barrel entertainment. I think this game has a lot of potential. The movesets are quite small. Kind of disappointed playing this character, and she only has like a couple moves. I'm sure that, I hope that they'll expand upon that later on. The loot so far is people have gotten to the end of the game and say it's pretty boring. I think this game's going to be a late bloomer, but the condition and the state that they launched it in is unacceptable. I've played indie early access games with more polish than this, which is saying a lot, because they're charging $60 for this, and they have microtransactions on top of it that are just cosmetics and stuff. It doesn't feel like a AAA game. It feels very poorly optimized. It's missing a lot of polish. The balance is off too. As you saw there, I died. The only time I really died was when I got hit by off-screen projectiles. They feel like worse than Ninja Gaiden because they home in on you. Even when you dodge them, they continue to home in on you and they still hit you. A lot of people have been complaining about it. I would not buy this game right now. Thurns is a longtime friend and viewer of mine, and they were nice enough to send me $30. So I got this for like 25 bucks, which was about all I was willing to pay for it. I was not willing to pay full price for something that barely functions. When I had the frame rate uncapped, it seemed to be running worse when I just swallowed my pride and locked it to 60. The performance issues are happening a lot less, but it does still happen. It seems like the engine they're using is just not made for this kind of game. I know that this engine was used on Tomb Raider. I haven't played. I'm not interested in the modern Tomb Raider games, but I would imagine those have a lot less going on. This has got particle effects and 4 players on the screen at all times, and there's like massive mobs of enemies and tons of effects going on. It feels like the engine just straight up can't handle it. It feels like the game is broken at the core. It's the foundation of the game, which is the game engine, which is the what allows these games to run at all. It just doesn't seem to be able to handle it. I've heard on base PS4 like some of the levels are like sub 20 FPS, which for this kind of game is unacceptable. Maybe if it was like another kind of genre, maybe you could put up with that kind of thing, but in a game like this, especially with all the crap being shot at you all the time, like you kind of need to have a responsive frame rate. I spent quite a bit of time tweaking this. I had to go into the control panel and actually enable VSync. Normally on PC ports, PC games in general, I run with VSync off and G-Sync on because that gets rid of the screen tearing, but for whatever reason I actually had to put VSync on to get rid of screen tearing. The screen tearing was really bad, but locking it at 60 does seem to help. They did just push a hot fix. I feel like, I wonder how much they can actually do. It feels kind of like Batman Arkham Knight, which is ironically another AAA superhero game that barely functioned at launch. It feels like the problems are just with the engine itself. There are a lot of bugs as well, but in terms of the optimization, it seems like the engine just straight up can't handle it. So I'm curious to see what will happen. I don't know how much I'll play this until it gets stable. I haven't really experienced any memory leaks. I guess I'm lucky in that regard. I haven't had the game tank as much as it did in the beta. I definitely gave the beta a chance. I streamed myself playing it, and I had just such terrible performance that I couldn't really bother to continue. It does seem a little bit better, but definitely do not buy this game for full price. I would not be surprised, Black Friday's 2.5 months away. I would not be surprised if it's like $40 or even $30 by that point. They're having a really hard time kind of reducing the backlash and kind of reversing the general opinion of the game. I think that the combat is actually quite good. The main issues I have with it is the off-screen projectile spam and just the small movesets. I know that the gear does help a little bit, but a lot of people are complaining about the gear as well, saying that it's not very interesting. For this to be a service game, for this to be something that they want people to log in daily and play consistently, they're going to have to get the updates out quickly, and they're going to have good enough gear and interesting enough gear to keep people playing. If the gear is boring, then your gameplay loop is broken at its core. KOF, I play that game every day because there's significant progress I can make every day, and there's always something that I can work towards, even though the gear in that game is admittedly not interesting. What's cool about the gear in that game is that you can use it for basically anybody, so it doesn't feel like a lot of other games where you get a bunch of crap for characters you're not interested in playing. I'm interested to see what'll happen. I got the donation, so I figured I would try this out instead of wailing more on KOF, and I do get paid on the 9th, so I'll get a little content release schedule out for you guys, maybe tomorrow if I can. Thanks for watching.